Hi, this is Kathy from Craft with Kathy. Welcome to take 2 of Tuesday night's live. I apologize. I am still working at the kitchen table, which brings its own set of issues along with it. I had sincerely hoped that I would be back into my little craft room by now, but that doesn't look like it's quite feasible at the time. And I have not all, but I have a lot of my supplies and things on a little rolling cart. And I normally have that in the kitchen by me, but I had moved it out of the way, playing around with this ladder and whatever. And he actually had it in the hallway, so I had to hurry up and go get it out of the hallway for Mom. So I'm back, and I do apologize. It's just I never really know what her schedule's going to be like or whatever. And as much as we try to get her on a routine and let me go live at 9, it doesn't always work. But anyway, on to the project at hand. So this is the ladder that I've been waiting so desperately for. It's not quite what I ordered, but it's going to have to do. The issue is that I need to stain it. So I will hopefully stain it and have it ready for tomorrow night. So in place of my Club Couture project that's going on this ladder, I'm going to do the jar cutouts tonight. Grab something to drink, get comfortable, and let's get to creating a little DIY home decor. Don't be shy, say hello, we're all friends here. Drop me a line, let me know where you're watching from. This is our new jar cutout. This is so cute, like a little mason jar. And just like all the rest of our cutouts, it's 3/4 of an inch thick. So it's nice and sturdy and makes a nice little shelf sitter for a bookcase, a mantle place, an entryway, whatever. A kitchen counter, whatever, whatever strikes your fancy, right? And here's a transfer called jar cutouts with 2 different designs that are perfectly suited and sized for the jar cutouts. So it makes creating this little piece of home decor very quick and easy. So let me take this transfer out of the package and we'll get moving on this. Now, being that our cutouts are made out of, you know what, I honestly don't know if they're MDF or wood or whatever, but think of them as a wood type product. I am going to wax them, hence why I've got my wax out here, because I always want to, when working with wood products, put down a layer of wax so that when I put my transfer on, I don't inadvertently lift up the paint or any splinters or any other little impurities or little irregularities in the wood product. And I am using our surface wax. It's perfectly suited for this, and it comes in a nice small little container, and it is fragrance free, which I absolutely love because I don't like the smell of the normal surface wax and things. So I'm just going to rub the wax in, and then I'm rubbing the wax off. That's all there is to it. So I rubbed it in. Now I'm just rubbing it off, and I apologize for making the camera shake. I'll try not to wiggle my surface so much here. And because I'm going to do both sides, I'm going to wax both sides. I've got another idea for this also that might make it a little bit more versatile. I don't know, just something on my mind that I want to try out. So by doing this, I protect my transfer because our transfers are adhesive backed and they are reusable. But also, if I make a mistake and I catch it quick enough, the paste won't absorb into the wood enough to stain the wood so that I could wipe it off and just fix it. So using the wax is dual purpose. One, it protects the transfer from any imperfections in the wood, and two, it acts as a barrier so that the chalk paste pigments of the chalk paste don't absorb so quickly into the wood, and you can wipe it off. It really depends on what paste you're using, how deeply pigmented it is, and how long it's on the surface. If it does not come off, basically just use a, I would first try our board eraser, which can be used for cleaning our transfers, but I would try that on a wood surface with a little bit of water to get it off. And if that doesn't work, I would gently sand with a sponge sander to try and get it off before I repainted it or anything else. Start with something simple with the board eraser. A lot of times that'll get enough of the color off that it doesn't look like you've already used the surface. It'll look like it's like it was before you applied the transfer. And if that fails, then you could always use the sanding block. And if that doesn't do it, I'm thinking if you're using black paste or something, you know, deeply pigmented, then you could, of course, always just paint your surface and start over. But that's one of the beauties of using chalk paste. If you make a mistake, it's usually very easy to correct. Of course, on wood, it's a little bit different than if we were using it on chalkboard. Obviously, chalkboard, spritz it with water and wipe it up with a paper towel. Our transfers are made out of vinyl, which is the teal, and mesh or a silk screen, which you're seeing through to the white carrier sheet or backer on the back. They are reusable. They're adhesive back. They're reusable 8 to 12 times or more with proper care. And proper care is really just removing the chalk paste from them and then letting them dry and then putting the backer back on it. That's all there really is to it. So I'm going to pull this off my transfer. It's easy to lift our transfers off. Just kind of run your finger up the side. It'll lift. And I'm going to put this on our fuzzing cloth. Oops. Our carrier sheet or our backer sheet, one side is shiny, kind of like a freezer paper. The other side is dull. The shiny side always goes against the adhesive. So let me straighten this out because I didn't have this nice and flat. Now this is my fuzzing cloth. If you don't have a fuzzing cloth, you can use a towel. You could use a sweater. You could use a pair of jeans. Whatever is going to apply a little bit of lint to the back of your transfer so that it does not stick. Ooh, I did a big mistake. So it does not stick as strongly as it would otherwise. Anybody catch what I did there? I'm running down the road as fast as I can go, not thinking about what I'm doing here. I'm going to put the backer back on just like I would do if I had just cleaned this, if I had used it and cleaned it. You always apply the carrier sheet to the transfer as opposed to the transfer to the carrier sheet, because lay the transfer down sticky side up and just put the carrier sheet on it. I need to cut this 2 images. Here's my cut line. I forgot to do that. Obviously much easier to use a smaller piece when I'm only needing to apply half of it, right? Oh my goodness. I'm so embarrassed. Okay, so let's go with Bloom and Grow. Oh wow. So the reason you apply your transfer to the fuzzing cloth is to apply some lint so that it does not stick as strongly as if it was brand new. And you want to diminish the stickiness so that it doesn't stick so strongly to your surface that it's an issue removing it from it. Now, our transfers can be used on obviously wood, chalkboard, dry erase board, I'm trying to think if I want to move that down just a teensy bit. Yes, I want to make sure that my little edges of my jar are in line with my cutout. There we go. Okay. And I want to smooth it down, make sure there's no air bubbles under any of the silk screen. you know what, I don't have this centered. I need to move it over a little bit. So I'm going to just lift it up, move it over a bit. And it's a little hard when working on cutouts, but best thing is to look at how much there is of the edge. Now I moved it a little bit too far because you can see that the line here is very close to the edge, whereas the line here is probably 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to move it about 1/8 of an inch closer back to me. Cutouts are a little tricky, but they're really not too difficult to work with. I just want this pretty centered, actually. There we go. Okay, so smooth it down. So anyway, our transfers can be used on wood, chalkboard, dry erase board, glass, metal, mirror, fabric, canvas. If you are putting on anything that is non-porous, make sure I don't have an air bubble there, like mirror or glass, then you want to fuzz it more because it will stick, or metal. It'll stick very, very strongly to anything that is non-porous, and then it could actually be a battle lifting it back up off the surface. And you don't want to have to stretch and pull and tug at it, because then you could stretch or distort your transfer. But you can see how easily this lifts off the wood. Glass and mirror, not so easy. So I am going to, let's see, I wanted to mix up a little bit of ink for my leaves, and I forgot to do that. Okay, let's go with, I'm going to use my peony pink and my raspberry sorbet for my flower. And I'm going to do the very center of the flower with the raspberry sorbet. I'm going to try and be careful with that. And just use my little, you know, this might be a little bit of tough. It's going to use my multi-tool to get right in there, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a problem. I think I'm going to do a little bit here where I do, oh my goodness, I can't think of the technique, where basically you smear the colors a little bit of a, I can't think, oh my goodness, it'll come to me. So I'm going to apply this kind of close. I don't want to get into that raspberry just yet. Then I'm going to moisten my finger a teeny bit. Oops, I kind of missed the finger. Okay. And do a little bit of smear in there, a little blurring. So hopefully I've got multiple colors there. And then I'm going to just, oops, remove the excess paste. And we'll see how that looks. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Considering I was a little iffy with it, I think that looks fine in the center. I'm going to lay this back down, make sure no air bubbles. Okay. And now I want to do the leaves. I actually want to do the little arrows in pink too, so let me just do that while I'm here. While I have this open, you just want to go over the silk screen, remove any excess, smooth out your lines, put the excess back in the jar. And that's all I'm doing for the pink, I think. No, maybe I'm going to do these little dots in the pink. Oh my goodness, decisions, right? I did look at this earlier and decide what colors I wanted, but I didn't really think about the dots. The leaves I'm going to do a mixed color with. So let me get on to, that's my raspberry sorbet. Okay. And I don't have a color tray out here, but our color trays are great for doing this. I am going to use my mat as my little palette or my little color tray. I'm going to grab some of my spruce shimmer green, which is a dark green was great for Christmas. I just want a teeny little bit of it. And then my olive shimmer, and I'm going to mix them up on my mat to make a different color green. The lighting's poor in here. I wasn't sure if this was the olive shimmer or not. So just a little bit of the olive to lighten it up a little bit. And mix those two together. So we've got a little bit lighter than the spruce green, but darker than the olive. And actually, I need to clean my multi-tool so that I could use it. You know what? I'll just use this other little end. You know, I think I could do that. This end is really great for cleaning around the edges of your paste jars, but I think I could use it as a little squeegee here too. And the other side obviously is perfect for being a little squeegee. I'm gonna have to be careful. I just realized I might have paste from my surface on the back. Paste from my mat on the back of my no, I don't, so that's good. Okay, I just want to look at that. I need to fix this little leaf, so I didn't really clean this up well. Go back over it. Okay, that looks a little bit better. It just looks a little sketchy here. Let me fix it. Okay, there we go. Oops. You don't want to do this if your transfer sticks to itself and you can't gently edge it apart. Then what you want to do is go run it under water and gently nudge it apart. Honey, I'm live right now. Are you okay watching TV?
I'm done.
Well, you know what? Another episode's coming right back on right after the commercial. Can you watch one more episode for me?
Sure.
Okay. Then I'll get you a snack.
Okay.
Coffee cake. Okay. I need to open up a roll of paper towels, right? And let me clean my multi-tool because I want to use that multi-tool for the outline of my jar. And so I'm just going to wet my paper towel and use that. Sometimes I have a water bath sitting here that I could clean my tools in and my transfers in, and that really works out the best. It just is kind of like a large water bath, and it takes a little bit too much room on my surface, so when I'm live, I really don't like to have it in the way. And now I've got green all over my hand from holding the multi-tool from the other edge. Oh, let me finish cleaning that up, clean my surface a bit, and get on with this. I'm sorry. Sometimes I do make a mess. Our paste is water soluble, which makes cleanup real easy. We have two different mediums to use with our transfers. Our chalk paste, which is actually made from chalk in a liquid form. It goes on liquid but dries to a hard finish. And our inks. And our inks are used whenever you want it to be permanent. So if I wanted to do a design on a ceramic mug, I would use our ink. If I wanted to do it on a t-shirt or a jean jacket or a pair of jeans or a piece of clothing or a quilt square, I would use our ink. And once our ink is heat set with either an iron or with a heat press, it becomes permanent. Okay, I gotta think about what I'm doing here. I want to do the jar of my lid in my Shimmer Harvest, so it looks like a jar. And I'm going to just use my multi-tool. Oops. Nope, I didn't get enough paste on here. Let me grab a little bit more. Oops. It's going off my surface there. Sorry about that. Okay, let me clean that up, get rid of any of my excess paste. Make sure I've got that down nicely. Right to the edge, put the excess back in my jar. I'm going to lift this up and take a quick little look at it. That looks good. Kind of the paste and peel technique. I don't want my paste to dry on my surface like it just did here because I waited too long. You know what? I'm going to wipe that off and we'll pretend that those arrows don't need to be there. Now, oops, I'm just gonna say, look at how well the paste did, and it didn't. So let me grab my board eraser and I'll show you how you clean it up. Wet the board eraser. Let's hope this works, right? And then I'm just gonna clean it off. Oops, I got a little bit too much paste there. Okay, that worked good because of the wax. Let me dry it with a paper towel and put my transfer back down. I shouldn't have let it sit there for as long. If you're not gonna be quick about it, do the paste and peel where you paste it and then lift it up. That was my mistake for not doing it. I know better. Okay. So I guess the question is, what do I want to do with the bloom and grow? I was going to do that in the blue, like I was doing the outline of my mason jar, but I think actually I'm going to do it with the spruce green, the deep green, instead. It's such a pretty color. So let me grab a little paste and do my words here. Whoops. Sometimes I try and get a little bit too fast, and it's funny, if I'm not live, I can take my time, but when I'm live, I'm like always in a rush. Isn't that weird? And I just need to know how to slow down a little bit and enjoy the process. This truly is as easy as buttering toast, and it's meant to be relaxing and an easy way to create beautiful home decor. And it really is. And once you get the technique, which doesn't take too much to really do it, it's a nice way of relaxing while creating something for yourself or creating a gift or whatever. And generally you want to keep your squeegee almost at a 90-degree angle. It's funny, when I'm live I always slant it more, probably because I don't have my work as close to me as I would have it otherwise. But you really do want it to be more of like a 90-degree angle. And then clean up any excess. Put the excess back in the jar. Now, paste and peel. I'm going to peel this up so that it doesn't dry in the silk screen. There we go. I missed a little tiny bit at the top of this O, so I'm going to lay it back down and go right over there. I could see a little white spot there with the green. There, looks much nicer. Now, I'm going to do the outline of the mason jar in my blue. I bought blue to go along with glass, right? And I definitely want to use my multi-tool for this, so let me give it a, let me clean it up. Got to get the shimmer off of it, cover up my shimmer so it doesn't dry out. If you're not familiar with Club Couture, let me tell you a little bit about Club Couture. It's our monthly subscription package. It's $19.99 a month plus tax. Shipping is on us. And every month you're sent an 8.5 by 11 transfer that's exclusive to club members and to designers. You cannot purchase it. You have to be a club member or a designer to get the exclusive transfer. And along with the transfer comes 3 individual paste packets that are specifically curated to go with the design of the transfer. So you get an hour or so of creative bliss once a month. And remember, our transfers are reusable. So after you create it, it also comes with a PDF of full instructions and also a video link to see a suggested way to put it together. You do not have to follow the instructions. You could do whatever you want. If you're on a creative roll, you could do however you want it to look. Once you make it for yourself, scrounge around, find another surface, make it for a friend, make it as a gift for someone. Our transfers are reusable 8 to 12 times or more with proper care. And really the care is just washing off the chalk paste, making sure you get it out of the silk screen, basically running it under water or putting it in a water bath to clean it off. And then I like using a disinfecting wipe to make sure I get everything off. You don't have to. Or you could use our board eraser under running water or in a water bath, and it works great at getting the paste off. Then you set it aside to dry, sticky side up, let it dry, put the backer on it, and it's good to go for the next time you use it. Now I'm having a little bit of an issue here because I keep kind of going off the edge because my transfer is a little bit off the side here, and that's fine. But it's making it a little bit more difficult for me to clean up the paste like I normally do here. So let me just grab any excess off. Plus it's a really dark color and I don't have the light on above me here. Okay, I'm going to throw the excess back into the jar and let's lift this up and take a look at it. Okay, I did a little miss here. Let me put it back down. Actually, I could see it. As soon as I set it back down, I could see 2 little dots of light there. Okay, pick that up and look at it again. Perfect. Oops, and I've got a little edge up here that I didn't quite get it. It's much better if I could see, but with the light over me, it makes it a little bit too much glare. So I usually try and shut it off. Okay, there we go. What do you think? Hi, Deb. This is our mason jar cutout. A cute little shelf sitter. I want to be careful. I've got paste on my surface, so I don't want to put it down into any paste. What do you think? I created a little bit of a mess, and I've got my fingers a little muddied up, but I think all in all it came out pretty easy. I'm going to move this aside, let it dry, and show you how I'm going to clean this on my surface. Now, obviously, the best place to clean it would be in a sink or in a water bath, but being that I don't have that here, I'm just spraying a little bit of water on the sticky side so that it won't stick to this mat, but sometimes I use a glass mat, and it will obviously stick to glass. So I just want to always be in the habit of spraying the sticky side. And then, of course, what was I going to use? I was going to use my board eraser. So let me grab this back out. And the board eraser is good at removing or eliminating a lot of the staining on your transfer with the more darker pigmented paste. The staining in no way diminishes the usability of the transfer. It just might leave a little bit of color on the front, and that's fine. Doesn't hurt it at all. But the board eraser will eliminate a lot of that staining. So I'm just going to grab a disinfecting wipe, clean this up. I did get a little staining in the blue, but I still need to clean up my back, the reverse side, the adhesive side. Clean my surface. I'm going to flip this over and clean the other side, get all the paste off the back of it. And you can see where my pink arrows dried in my silk screen. Just clean that up, make sure I get that out. If you're ever unsure as to whether or not you got the paste out of your silk screen, just lift it up to the light and you could see if there's still paste in the silk screen. If so, just use another disinfecting wipe or run it under more water, or use the board eraser on it again. And then once you've got the adhesive side all cleaned off, you want to go back over it generally in one direction and basically just remove the lint that you deliberately applied with the fuzzing cloth. And that's really all there is to caring for the transfers. Just make sure that you have all the paste out of the silk screen. We've got a little staining there on the back, but that's fine. Get rid of the lint. And then I'm going to set this aside to dry, sticky side up. And when it's dry, I will put its backer on it and put it away for a subsequent use. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. See you soon.